Hi everybody, this is Marg, back again for a Tuesday night quick and easy card layout video. This video is to be released on January the 17th. And today, if you've been following me, we've been doing really quick and easy card layouts. And this is, I think, the third one I've done. This one is involving 1 1/4 inch strips of paper. So these strips look like this. Get them in the right order here. Okay, so they're 1 1/4 inches across, 5 1/8 long. Tonight I'm doing the sample using the Dainty Flowers Designer Series paper from Stampin' Up. That is free with a $60 order. I've shown it to you before, but it is gorgeous paper. So we're going to be using a strip of it, and this paper, I've cut it up a lot, so there's what's left of it. It's a gorgeous sheet of paper, and as you can see, you get all different flowers depending on how you cut this paper. All right, so let's get started putting it together. Tonight, it has a lot of different colors in this paper. Tonight, I've chosen to put it onto a Blackberry Bliss card base, and I'm going to use a layer of cardstock in Old Olive to anchor it on here. This layer is 4 1/8 inch by 5 3/8 inches. So it has to be that size in order for this to fit properly and give us a little bit of space. I'm not going to emboss this piece, which I've done in the past, because these pieces fit pretty tight to it. So you're not really going to see much of that green behind. It's just going to give a bit of a frame behind these pieces. All right, let's sit and put this together. I'm going to bring in my silicone mat because, as you know, it's great if I leave any glue behind. It won't be glued onto my paper. I'm going to use my multi-purpose Tombow glue. You can also use your Stampin' Seal if that works for you. So what I'm going to do is just put glue on the back of this paper. And this paper, as you saw from the sample that I showed you of paper that I had left, it was when it was fit together, that's what it looked like. So it works really good for this kind of paper, just to give it something different instead of gluing that piece on just the way it is. When we cut it up into strips, it just gives it a little bit of a different look. We also could have put this paper right onto the card base and not used a layer behind, and it also looks great. That's also very pretty. I just thought I'd break it up a little bit and put it onto the Old Olive. All right, so let's get started, and I will try to put them in the right order. That's the trick. So glue on the back of these, and you can see that back of that piece is Old Olive with a nice ferns or shrubbery on it. It's very pretty. So what I normally do when I'm using strips of paper like this is I put the two outsides on first. So that one would be the middle, but I'll do the other outside one first, and then we can place the middle one in. I'm sure this paper is very popular. I've seen lots of videos and posts about it. It is gorgeous paper, and anybody that likes flowers, this is a beautiful one because it has a lot of different colors in it and a lot of different flowers. I only have one package of it, so I'm sure I'll probably be wishing I got more than one. Now this, I just try to fit this in, giving equal space between, just like that. So that just gives it a different look when it's been split. And this paper looks like it has a texture, but it doesn't. It's just the way the paper looks. It's very pretty. All right, now we can add it right onto here. I do have an idea for my greeting, but you could use ribbon at this point and put the ribbon around this piece before you glue it on. I'm just going to go ahead and glue this right on, and I already have my greeting stamped so that we won't take up too much time here. I like these videos to be relatively short, just to give you some quick ideas. And I do have some other samples to show you of other cards I've done with this layout. So there it is. And you can just see a small border of the, if I move this out of the way you can see better, of the Blackberry Bliss paper. Now, I've already stamped a greeting like I said. And what did I stamp in? Here it is. I did it on a tag because I thought a tag was, I didn't want to cover up a lot of these flowers. So I either thought of having the greeting right there or down below here in the greenery. So I opted for this, and I used the tailor-made tags. They look like this, and you get different sizes. So I chose a tag and the greeting. And I'm thinking that greeting came from Framed Florets, which is a great stamp set from the mini catalog. And there's the greeting, so lucky to call you friend. And I used the crinkled seam binding ribbon. There it is there. Very, very lightweight. And I just tied it onto here, looped it through the hole. And that's my greeting stamped on there in Blackberry Bliss. And I thought I would just put it on dimensionals and put it at an angle across there like that. I thought that looked great. I did think it might need some more embellishing. So I have brought, just reach for my handy tool here. I have brought in some of the brushed brass butterflies. Thought that might look good. But let's put this on, and I thought I'd put it on with dimensionals, and that'll just raise it up and give it a little more interest. So I think I'll just put 3 dimensionals across the back of it, like this. And if I need to trim that ribbon, I might trim that ribbon a bit. Just peel off the back of your dimensionals. That. And I thought I'd put it at an angle, just a little more interesting possibly, and lay it across like that. And I thought this card with that greeting, so lucky to call you friend, could be a birthday card. It could be just thinking of you card, just to a friend. And I thought it was very pretty. So the brushed brass butterflies come in 2 sizes. So I thought we could maybe put a couple of those on, and I'll use my take your pick tool because it has that nice pointed end that allows me to lift these off. And I thought maybe I could put a small butterfly on that. They're quite flat, so they'll, I don't think they'll interfere too much in the mail. And I thought maybe I'll put a bigger one over here on this. Maybe I'll put it right up top there on that flower, and another small one, because I usually do things in 3s. I think maybe I'll put this one right here on that leaf. There. So that just gives it a little bit of interest to add those butterflies to it. And you can trim these tails off if you want. And on the inside, I would put a white piece of paper and possibly another strip of paper here. And that would finish that off really nicely. All right, so that's our card. And the envelope, you can either put a strip of paper across here, or you could do some stamping. Now, I haven't really done much stamping on any of this, so I could do that. There are flowers in the Framed Florets bundle. You could even stamp some of these flowers and they'd look fine stamped on here. There are daisies on here, so if you had any stamp sets with daisies, that would look good too. So there's our first card done. I'll show you the other samples I have. These are made from retired paper, but I will still share them with you because they're done with the same setup. This one, actually this one isn't done with retired papers, this one is. This one I used retired paper for, and it opens this way. And this label is from Labels Aglow, which is one of our Christmas sets that's carrying over. And I used some retired gold ribbon and just threaded it through. This label has, I can show you one that's not, it has 3 little holes in it. And so I just threaded the gold ribbon through there and frayed it out so that it kind of looks like a tassel. I used some black matte dots on it. And again, this one is fairly generic. Let's celebrate. That could be a birthday, an anniversary, a get-together of some sort, whatever you'd like. And on the inside, I just used another piece of the paper just to add some interest to the inside there. So that's that one. And the envelope, I used, again, the paper to do the flap on the envelope. So that's that one. And they open differently, as you can see. This one was also done with retired paper. And the artistically inked stamp set is where the die, well, the die came from the artistic dies, which we still have in the annual catalog. And this paper was coordinated with that, but it is retired now. And I took the 3 strips and I didn't put them on evenly. I just sort of, I angled them a little bit and just sort of put them as a background. It is 3 different pieces of the DSP, but I just angled them. I didn't do them straight like I did this one. So it gives it a different look. And then I cut this from the artistic dies. That's one of the dies out of the brushed gold paper. And I used the Label Me Lovely punch for this and put this as a thank you. And the inside on this one, I did put the layered piece of basic white through the painted textures folder, so it just gives it a little bit of texture behind there, so when you get it up close you can see it. And on the inside I just ran a strip of paper this way. And the envelope, I added a piece of the paper to the envelope flap, and that makes for a really pretty envelope. I did sponge around the edges of my label also in the Pale Papaya ink. That's what color this cardstock is, Pale Papaya, just to make it stand out a little more. So that's another one. And last, I did this one. I like to do one that's more masculine, and so this one is done with our in color paper, Tranquil Tide. That's the color of the cardstock, and that's 3 of the patterns in that pack of paper. And what I did with it, it's the same strips, they were the same length, and I just cut them with either with your scissors to make them look like a banner, or you can use the banner pick-a-punch to do it. So I just trimmed the edges and just give it a different look by cutting them a bit shorter and angling them. This is the Dots and Spots die that I used in the back on the piece of navy cardstock, and then you get to see your Tranquil Tide through there. And I used a Grand Kid for the happy birthday. That's this stamp set right there. And I used some retired navy twine that we had because I just needed to add something to it, but I don't, if it's a masculine card, I don't put a lot of embellishments on it. And then on the inside, I did cut my white layer 4 by 5 1/4. I cut it with the rectangular stitch dies, the largest one, just to give it some interest on the edges. And I stamped it with a retired stamp. It's your day, enjoy it. And again, I just cut a little extra strip, a 3/4 inch strip, and I banner cut the end. And that's the way the inside of that one looks. So I thought that was good for a boy. So there's our 4 cards. 2 done with retired paper and 2 done with paper that is current right now. And I haven't done an envelope for this one, but I will get that done. Probably use paper for the envelope flap. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I will be back again next Tuesday with another quick and easy card layout. If you have any questions, you can always contact me in the comments underneath this video. I will put the sizes of the strips that I used and the background layer that I used in the old olive, and the card base, and the stamp set that I used, so that you'll know what I used for this. All right, I hope everybody enjoyed that. Give it a try. It's a great way to use up some of your scrap paper, and have a great night. All right, bye.